Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Thornbrook Farm. So, first thing I have to do is send a big thank you to Lancyboi. I got a DM from him a few days ago, inviting me to join his Discord and get involved with him and his crew, and that's really cool. You know, when you start a channel and just wonder what direction it's going to go, and you never think that the people whose work you appreciate would ever reach back out to you and you know, kind of return the favor. It's very cool. I will say though that I feel like I'm a chef in a restaurant and somebody just poked their head in the kitchen and said, oh, by the way, the owner's going to be here tonight. Like, I am so self-conscious about this video to know that the map maker is possibly watching it. So we've got our Zarian and our cultivator and our slurry injector working in field 11, and we've got off camera I went ahead and spread hard manure on the rest of the fields. Oh, we got our run button configured as well, so we're running particularly field 3. We got muck spread in field 3 and field 17, and then we put the manure tipper and the muck spreader away. We put the cloth scorpion away. We finished plowing field 8, and we've got our plow going on field 9 right now. Is that right? Yeah, this is field 9 right in front of us. Yep. And we've got our Zarian. Oh, it's around here somewhere. There it is. We've got our Zarian plowing this field, and then field 12 is cultivated and injected. So the next thing for us to do is do a little seeding. So I bought this limpkin. You know, I've got a favorite limpkin. It is this one. You know the one. It's this one right here. I really like this one, but it's 6 meter, and I feel like, you know, map making, man, it is absolutely an art, because this map, it plays small, but it's actually kind of big. That's like the best way that I can say it. And so it's a handful, and we can't use, I'd like to use 6 meter equipment, and I think in some ways that 6 meter equipment would be appropriate for this map in real life, but this ain't real life, yo. So we've got to be mindful of the fact that, you know, and I say this all the time, like we can't do things exactly the way farmers would do it in real life, because it would just take too long. And I know there are some sim farmers that do that, and, you know, props to them. But that's just a no. That's just a little too realistic for me. So, and what I want to do is pull over here and see if we got this. Yeah, I want this to be all the way over, so it kind of goes over the edge of the field. And then that way we know our next length inside is going to be, is it making any sense? I think it is. It's tricky. Irregular fields, man. They're a hoot. Okay, so we've got this thing. We've got it set up for wheat. Do we not? Let me try to not drive all over this freshly plowed field. So let's get back up here to the top and let's get some rows in. Now we've got the way that our, because we threw hard manure on here and then we plowed it in. So we got the double buff. Let me just confirm that. Separate. We got the double buff for fertilizer. Did we not? Yeah, we got 2 layers on here right now, which means we're gonna have to put a third on, so that does mean tram lines. So there's your tram lines. But now I'm trying to think how I want to do these, because it is, for the most part, kind of a rectangular field. It's just got irregular edges. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Because I want my tram lines to be beautiful. You know I do. So let's do it this way. Because our... Yeah. This will make sense in a second. I hope it does. I hope it does. So because our sprayer is going to come in from the side of the field. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to semi-automatic. We're going to make this 36 meter because that's how wide our sprayer is. I'm going to turn that on. We're going to go to manual. Okay. I hope this works. I hope it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay in a tram line from the entrance as though, you know what I mean? As though our sprayer was pulling in and opening up and entering the field from this side. I think you see what I'm saying. Set this cruise control for 6 miles per hour. Yeah. All right. Right, you see what I'm saying? So if our sprayer was coming in, it would pull into those tram lines and off it would go. So I think now, okay. I think what I may do is go down to the bottom of the field here, end this row, and then just put in sort of regular lengths back and forth, and then we'll need to figure out how to do this other side. And then later, this row that we're in right now with the tram lines is going to represent our sort of our first row in from the outside of the map. So even though we're only going to the end of this row on this pass, we'll sort of pick it up from there and continue it around the perimeter of the field, but we'll do that afterwards when it's essentially a headland. So I think that makes sense. So this is two things. It's a length, but it's also the first inboard headland with tram line, and then there'll be another one outside of this, but that one does not have a tram line because it's got the boom over it essentially rather than the wheels. I think that made perfect sense. I know it made sense in my head, but sometimes, you know what I mean, things only make sense in my head, but that's enough sometimes. Right, so yeah, this map is particularly field 3. I mean, we've got to take that little, I want the 10% buff on field 3, so we're going to take that little 4-meter plow over, off camera, obviously, and we are going to plow all of gigantic field 3 with that little plow. And I really just can't think of another way to do it because that's our plow, you know what I mean? So, let's get turned around here, and then, yeah, you see what I'm saying. And then we're just going to head back up next to this one, and we'll do this back and forth until we've got, I guess, the bulk of the field done, and then we'll sort out the headlands. Because one of them is going to have a tram line, and one of them obviously is not. It may work. I don't know. It may work, it may not. You know, sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. And I just remembered I didn't even check to see if we are eligible to plant wheat because of seasons. Now, most of the time, wheat is a pretty hardy crop, and most of the time you can plant it early spring. But yeah, I didn't even check. So let's wait till we get up to the top here, and then I'll double check and confirm. I suspect that it's just fine, but we'll check anyway, just in case, so we don't waste all this seed when it's not even going to germinate. So yeah, man, it's to what is today? Today is Wednesday in the United States, and I'm going to record this today. I think I figured out what is going on with Lone Oak Farm. I did not delete that save game, and I tend to like decide things very quickly, and most of the time that quick decision sort of turns out to be the right one. And I kind of gloat about that with my girl. I'm like, oh, see, but I was right. And she's like, you got lucky. And I'm like, nah, nobody gets lucky that often. I was right. But I'm not always right. So I'm learning to be a little bit more kind of careful, I guess, with deciding things very quickly. So when I fired up Lone Oak after all those changes that I made, I did some BIOS update, I did some driver update, I reinstalled the game, and I saw that the Aerosoft Straw Harvest Pack had updated from 1.0 to 1.2. They didn't send me a notification, or if they did, I didn't see it. So I've been running 1.0. Who knows how long right about there. Who knows how long 1.1 has been out. But I wouldn't say that mod was buggy. I mean, mod, DLC, it's sort of both. I wouldn't say it was buggy, but it was not perfect. And I feel like it didn't really play that well with a lot of other mods, but yeah, so it goes. But it is up to 1.1, and I thought, okay, maybe that solves some problems, but I also realized that on Lone Oak, I own probably 3 or 4 pieces of equipment from that Straw Harvest pack. So what I'm going to do is disable it, restart that profile, see if it will launch. If it will, I can just edit the XML file, put back in the amount of money that it took to buy that equipment in the first place, and then buy it again. But I guess the takeaway from that is I tend to decide things very quickly, and in the past, that's the sort of thing where I would like try to fire up the profile, it wouldn't start, and I would say, okay, it's a bad profile, it's corrupted, and I would just delete it. And I've got multiple save games on multiple remote hard drives and thumb drives, and I back up my data a lot. You say data? You say data. Some people say data. Some people say data. I back it up a lot. So I'm sure I could find a recent copy of that save game somewhere. But in the near term, and on my sort of internal base hard drive that I use for everything, my C drive, I would delete it from there and that would just be gone. And I didn't do that. I thought, let's put 5 minutes or 10 minutes into seeing if we can save that profile, because we just got our last crops planted at the end of our second season, or I guess the end of our second spring. And it would be nice to finish one farm, because I don't think I have like gracefully closed out a farm on YouTube ever. And I think the only farm we've ever been profitable in is Herman's Eck. But I have to say, in all fairness, I think the reason we're profitable in Herman's Eck is because they start you with a ton of grains, and that brewery just makes money hand over fist. So, you know what I mean? But I don't think we've ever been profitable in a farm and been able to close it out like in a, you know what I mean? Like in a classy kind of real way. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to close out a farm, and I feel like of all the farms that we're running, of the 4 or possibly 3 if we can't get Lone Oak going again, but I feel like we're very close on Lone Oak, because we just planted all that corn. We're going to take that down to the BGA, and that's typically a pretty profitable project. So I believe we can get our 1.2 million, and that I think is going to be my goal on any farm, on all farms, is to get to 1.2 million and buy the wind turbine. And at that point, you're making so much money. I thought it was 25,000 euro an hour, but that wouldn't make any sense. It's 25,000 per day, but there's virtually no cost. So like if you have cows that are making you 25,000 a day in milk, you have to feed them, you have to muck them out, you're putting some intervention in there. Whereas with the wind turbine, it just makes you money. It just makes you money constantly. So at that point, I feel like if you can get to the point where you can get the wind turbine, you're good. You'll do fine after that, because you've got that income source. So that's going to be a goal, and I feel like the place where we are closest to that is on Lone Oak. So I'm going to see if I can save that profile, and it would be nice, maybe 2 or 3 more episodes, 4 more episodes to close that out, and that might be just perfect timing between now and FS19. So we'll see. I've been trying to look into FS19. I'm curious, I always wonder, and I just recorded a train sim video, and I was talking in Train Sim World. It's a Train Sim World video. I was talking about Train Simulator, which just bumped up to 2019, but it's essentially the same game that's been out since 2003, 2001 by one measurement. And that's not a bad thing, but there are some developers that update their games, and there are other developers that sort of reboot their games. And I feel like Dovetail kind of did both, because they rebooted the Train Simulator concept, right? Not the game Train Simulator, but they rebooted the Train Simulator concept with Train Sim World. It's a whole different sim. Plays completely different. I believe it's running on a different engine, and I can get down with Train Sim World. I tried Train Simulator 2019 64-bit, and I made it about 20 minutes. And I'm not saying that it's a bad game or there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying it's not for me. But when I think about something like Farm Sim 19, like, I wonder, are they going to go the SCS route like they're doing with Euro Truck and American Truck, where they just continually patch the game up? Now, at some point, technology will advance far enough that they will have to reboot the game. But then you look at something like Train Simulator 2019, and it's like, no, man, they're not giving up on it. They're just going to keep tuning that game. And then simultaneously, they released Train Sim World, which is the reboot. So when I think about Farm Sim, it's just 10 years now, right? Because it's Farm Sim 2009. When I think about 10 years, I wonder, like, at any point, are they going to get around to rebooting the game, or are they always just going to kind of redo it every couple of years? So I don't know. And I guess the gist of my curiosity is, will it ever be at a point like where SCS is with Euro Truck and American Truck, where the same mods with some small changes plug right in? Because as it is now, if you want to convert a mod over, I know from 15 to 17, if you wanted to convert a mod over, I found a couple videos like in Polish, and it just made my head spin. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. I would like to think of myself, I hope I'm a fairly bright guy, but man, you're spinning circles around me, brother. I can't keep up. So it's a pretty robust operation to convert a mod from 15 to 17. And I wonder, will it be the same from 17 to 19? Will there ever be a time when there's really nothing required and a mod will just more or less transfer straight across? Somewhere in between, like Euro Truck? I don't know. These are the things that I'm curious about as a gamer. And I kind of want both, I have to say. Like, I would love it if all of my mods worked in FS19, because I have some mods that I really, really love. But at the same time, it's like, no, you don't necessarily want that, because then your mods are not, you know what I'm saying? Not keeping up with the game. So I don't know. We'll see where we end up with FS19. And the other thing, of course, is the maps. Like, are maps going to transfer across? I doubt that they would ever transfer straight across, but then I wonder, like, what's required to port a map from 17 to 19? Or do you even want to? Is the new version of Farm Sim going to be so different graphically that you wouldn't even want to bring these maps in? And using Train Simulator 2019 as an example, and I'm not shit talking the game when I say this. I'm just talking about gaming, man. I have love for all games, I really do. So what I'm saying is, when you look at graphics that are that sort of, I'm reluctant to say outdated, but yeah, outdated. When you look at graphics that are that outdated in a higher resolution, how's the Zarian in traffic? I'm going to do this. You know what? We can wait, and we'll just go over and finish the Zarian maybe after we're done with this field. How are we doing on time? We're about 20 minutes in. Okay, let's see how we go. So when you look at, it's like seeing an old TV show on a 4K TV, and it's like, skin tone, right? And the new, like, they had to come up with new techniques to do makeup for TV shows when high def TV started becoming a reality, because the way that makeup had been done in the past, right? You see that person in high def or 4K, and they look like a monster. So makeup artists had to develop new techniques to do makeup in the era of 4K TVs. And I guess the same thing applies to graphics. What looked really good 10 years ago, you don't necessarily want to render that in 4K. That may not work out for you. So I guess I'm saying is, even if you could port a map directly from FS17 to FS19, would you really want to if the graphics are going to be that different? And from what I've seen, they are. But at the same time, those are trailers. I don't know if I've seen any actual gameplay yet. And even when you do see the actual gameplay, that is, I mean, they're playing it on just an absolute weapon of a gaming system. So it's not, you know what I mean? They didn't go down to Walmart and just grab something off the shelf. That is a very specific system that I wouldn't necessarily say the game has been designed for that system, but it's entirely possible if that system is internal, you know what I mean? Like if that's a system that they use inside their shop, it's entirely possible that that system was built with the idea of playing the game. You know what I mean? Like I mean, what other games do they play at Farm Simulator headquarters? Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna hook? It's close. It's close. Are we gonna hook? Oh, we're gonna hook. So you see what I'm saying, right? That what you see at E3 is not necessarily what it's going to look like on your system, and that's fine. You know, how could they do that? Because they don't even know what system you're playing. So I haven't seen actual gameplay that I know of, and even if I did, I don't know that the gameplay would be really representative. You get what I'm saying? You feel me? So I think let's do a couple back and forth down here in this little corner place, and then we'll try to very carefully drive up the grass verge, and we'll repeat this process on the other side, and then we'll do our headlands. And in fact, I think this will be a headland right here. Okay, so we don't even need to do this one. Man, if this works out, it may not, but if this works out the way I am envisioning it, I will be very, very happy. Okay, so this will be, and then that will be, you know, there may be a little area not filled up, not seated, but I don't know, man. I feel kind of strongly about that. I know I've seen some YouTubers where, and I've said this before, so I don't like repeating myself, but I know I've said this before. I've seen some YouTubers where they just drive their drill back and forth over the map like they're spreading peanut butter on a piece of bread. They just drive back and forth all over the field until they've seeded like every square meter of it. And and that I wouldn't say that doesn't work for me, but it's like it kind of doesn't work for me. I think this is going to be a little weird because yeah, this would normally be our tramline headland because it's sort of one in from the outside of the field, but then it's right next to that other one, and I don't know that that works to have two right next to each other like that. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some areas of you know what I'm saying, there's going to be some areas of shenanigan, but I'll try to keep them to a minimum. And this is just the challenge of irregular fields. So now let's see how I want to do this. Okay, so this is the end of our last GPS row. You're gonna hit, don't hit it, don't hit it. Oh. Cutting things too close today. Oh man, I'm just hitting everything. Okay, so let's get down to the bottom of the field. Trying not to drive too much on what we've already seeded. Yeah, normally I would, okay, yeah. It would make sense to seed this now, but then we'd still have to go around at the bottom of the field. Okay. Here's where my plan all makes sense. Maybe. So we're gonna get right in here, right about in here. All right. We're gonna set the brake. I'm going to turn tram lines back on, and we're going to do some headlands. Don't need GPS for this. Brake is off. So now I'm going to try to do one headland about one cultivator width in from the outside of the field. I know, we're driving over the same place twice. I hate it. I really do. But I think, oh, we actually need this back. Because this one here, yeah, this one here can be on GPS. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now, here's the tricky part. Because we don't need to do this one twice. So when we get right about here, we lift. Drive straight up here. And then hop back to the outside. Man, this is not working out exactly the way I thought it would. This is going to be kind of ugly. And I don't want to do the same area twice. Okay, so if we go, turn that off. And then we'll go up here. Yeah. Okay. So, cover your ears. We need to do a little thing right here. This is not realistic, but bear with me. Okay, so then this will be right, and then back around to the start. Okay, you know, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but hey, neither am I. So we go here. Yeah, we go here. Don't need that anymore. Now we're going to turn here. Yeah. And I think when we have our boom sprayer, I think this will all work out. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. So, I'm going to go right over here. Man, I've seen some farmers do tram lines, and it just, like, I don't even understand. I can watch what they do, and I cannot understand what they're doing because they do it so well. Like, even though I'm seeing them do it, my brain is still like, huh? How is that possible? Like Picasso. Right, so I'm gonna back this up. And again, not entirely realistic because we are gonna hit the same areas sort of semi-twice, twice times. But, making the effort. So, cruise control on, up. And let's pretend we're doing a half row cutoff. That's a thing, that's totally a thing. We're doing a half row cutoff even though we're hanging part of our cultivator out over the gravel. Not a big deal. So we'll get this one done. I think that should be the end of our episode because we're coming up on, what, 40 minutes? Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. And that'll be this field done. I'll probably, I'm going to have to plow that other field off camera because it's just, it's too big. It's far too big to do on camera. Or, well, I mean, like right now we're plowing a field, but we're not in the tractor. We're not doing it manually, so maybe we could do something like that. I don't know. But I need to get field 3 done, that big field. So we'll get that done, and we'll get, oh my God. I've got a Samsung Galaxy with Bixby. And Bixby is like Siri if Siri was really intrusive and didn't work very well. I mean, Samsung is a pretty solid company. I don't know how they dropped the ball with Bixby. It is awful. And it's weird because it's a Samsung phone, so it runs on Android. And Android has Google Plus or OK Google or whatever it is. Oh, there it is. I said OK Google, and my phone was like, right away, sir, I'm here for you. But it's already got the Google Assistant or whatever it is. So I don't know what the purpose of Bixby is. And then on top of that, it's awful. So every now and then when I'm doing a video, Bixby will be like, I'm here, buddy, what do you need? And I'm like, I need you to leave. I need you to go away and stop listening to me. You can't uninstall it and you can't turn it off. It's like Cortana on Windows. You're just stuck with it, and then it sucks. And it's like, if you're going to stick me with something, can't you stick me with something that works properly? Could ya? So we'll see. And you know what I'm thinking as we're coming around here? We've been doing boom sprayers on our past few maps. Maybe we'll do a broadcast spreader or something with a 36 meter. Well, we have to now because we put in 36 meter tram lines, but yeah, maybe we'll do that. Mix it up a little bit as we close out FS17. Man, I can't believe it's been 2 years. I came in the middle of FS15, and for the first, seriously, the first year that I was playing the game, I was just kind of, you know what I mean? Just trying to figure it out. You're like, what the hell is this? Just trying to figure it out. And I feel like I did figure it out toward the end of my time in FS15, and then FS17 came out. Super, super excited about that. And I've been trying to play... The words that were literally coming out of my mouth, been trying to play realistically as I snag the planter in a hedge. Been trying to play realistically and trying to choose appropriate equipment and just trying to be a good farmer. But I can't believe it's been 2 years for this game already, 2 full years. Time flies, yo. And I guess 3 years total on the farm going back to 15. So yeah, man, time flies. It's weird to think about, you think about something like 3 years, 3 years of time, and you think about like what percentage of my total life does that represent? Or what percentage of my adult life? Like how many years since I turned 18, and then what percentage of that amount of time does 3 years represent? And it's weird to think about it that way. You can do that with anything. You can do that like with a job that you've had or somebody you've been dating, and you come up with these weird numbers like, whoa, 30% of my adult life I've had the same job, or 50% of my adult life I've been with the same person. So it's an interesting mental experiment if you're ever waiting for a ferry in Greece. Well, that's an odd analogy. I was stuck waiting for a ferry in Greece for about a day and a half, but it felt like more like a year and a half. So when I think about things to do to pass the time with your brain, I think about waiting for a Greek ferry. Right. Do this little bit. I mean, we're so far outside the bounds of realism at this point, I guess it doesn't much matter. Let's knock out this little wedge right here, and we'll call it good. I also, I just want to check and see what's going on with the... It says that one of our tractors is stuck in traffic. I'm trying to think which one that could be. Okay, and we also used about half of the volume of this. Is it a drill? Is it a seeder? Is it a sewing machine? We used about half the volume that's in there, so I think we'll be okay. I don't know if you saw behind us. I'm going to park this up right here, set the brake. I am going to leave it running. As I saw a YouTube farmer do, always leave your equipment running after you've been working it hard because it needs to cool down. So I did take our little Aryan series, and we've got a trailer with some seed on it, but that's about 14,000 liters of seed, and we just did this entire field with like 1,400 liters of seed. So I suspect that we've got plenty of seed to finish. If we're using that drill, I think we've got enough seed to finish just about the whole map. So that one, yeah, that's the one that's stuck. And then the other one is still plowing. Still plowing. So what is this thing caught on? It says stuck in traffic. Is it stuck in traffic or is it stuck in a wall? I think it's stuck in a wall. But is it done? Yeah, man. It's not stuck in traffic. It's done. Moment. Field 11. Yeah, that is 100% done. Cultivated. Yep. Okay. So let's get in here and shut this off. If we can see it. We can find it. There it is. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's saying that it's caught in traffic because it's so close to our MAN truck. Okay, so get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. We'll back it up. And now our plow is giving us problems. Okay, so we're going to leave that running. And let's run back over here and see what's going on with the plow. See if I can find it. Right on the other side of this hedge. Okay, and then we'll definitely be done because I think we're coming up on time. So there's the entrance right here. There's that. No, okay, it's moving again, but it's done. I mean, is it finishing up its last headland? Oh, it sure is. Look at that, man. That is perfect timing. I love perfect timing. Did it throw it to the right side? No. It missed it. Courseplay will do this periodically. Normally, it gets the wheel on the right side, the correct side, but sometimes it gets a little bit out of sync, and oh, my immersion is ruined. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017 from Thornbrook Farm. And we will see you next time. Take care now.